Caitlin, you are supposedly sleeping right now because you had such a late night. If you watch this video and you send me an email with the word Australia, then we'll give you a free little Debbie stand, okay? There you go, Caitlin. All right, so these are our notes right here. Percentages and averages is what we're going to finalize today. But I want you guys to turn to this next page. It's this question 7 of 15 and question 8 of 15. Okay, and then the one below it is question number 7 of 15 again. Okay, these are 3 problems that have something to do with what we are going to talk about today. First one, Tina buys a new pair of inline skates on sale for 30% off the regular price. If the regular price is $84.90, how much will she save? Go ahead and work with the person next to you. Try these 3. Make at least a guess for each one. Circle what the answer you think is. Go ahead and check with the person next to you. See how you think you did. And we'll go over them together in about 4 minutes here. Okay? If you need to use a phone calculator, go ahead. Got a minute and a half. Okay, let's see what you got. Tina buys a new pair of inline skates on sale for 30% off the regular price. The regular price is $84.90. How much will she save? What you want to do is you want to take 84.9. You want to multiply that by 30% or 0.3. And when you do, I believe you come up with $25.47. that accurate? Okay. Next one, which of the following is equivalent to 175%? Remember, for percents, we move the decimal point 2 places. A lot of people automatically just put it up front. That's incorrect. It's 1.75. So 1.75, letter C. And then, what is 12% of 60? 12% of 60. I'm going to write this as an equation. What is x is equals 12% is 0.12, of is times, and then I have 60. So that's part of what we're going to learn today, is being able to take this and write it into a mathematical formula and then be able to apply that. Now we have 12% of 60. If we multiply those, we get b, which is 7.2. 7.2. Okay. Flip it back one page. Our notes today are just this front. We're going to look at percentages and averages. Percentages and averages. So the first one says, determine the following. What is 20% of 84? The strategy I like to use, and I would encourage you to use on the test. And by the way, I talked about the use of the calculator on the test. When you get to these parts, you can use your calculator. So it's when you're doing the decimal stuff with adding, subtracting, multiplying, that I don't want that calculator. So it says what, meaning x, is means equals 20%. So 0.2 of is times 84. And that equation tells us how to compute it. We take 0.2 times 84, and we get x is equal to 16.8. Try the next one on your own. Let's start with a more basic question. Instead of 125% of 60, don't overthink this, but what is 100% of 60? 60. So if it's asking what's 125%, is that going to be more than 60 or less than 60? It's going to be more than 60. So you can see you multiply it by 1.25, and you should have x is equal to 75 when you multiply that out. Okay? So it might seem weird that you get a number that's greater, but as you think of 125%, that's more than that. The next one, 5 is 12% of what number? 5 is 12% of what number? So now the equation looks different. And if somebody just asked me 12% of what number, I couldn't tell them right away. I would have to write it out, and I would have to look to solve that equation. And I'm going to solve this equation by solving for x, which means I divide both sides by 0.12. So on my calculator, I take 5 and divide it by 0.12, and we get x is equal to 41.6 repeating. Try example 4 on your own. Try example 4 on your own. Right, 10 is what percent? So x is the what of 80, so times 80. And the way I'm going to solve that is I divide both sides by 80. 10 10 divided by 80 is 0.125. So if it says 10 is what percent of 80, 10 is 12.5% of 80. 12.5%. So there's a little introduction into our percents. The last three questions have to do with averages. The first question is pretty easy. The last question is a little bit more challenging. It says find the average of following. And the formula for finding the average is to find the sum divided by the number of things that we're adding up, and then that is equal to our average. So S divided by N is equal to our average. So we add these up. 4 and 3 make 7, plus 10 is 17, plus 9 is 26, plus 12 is 38. Divided by what? Yep, there are 5 things that we added up together. And if I take 38 and divide it by 5, I get 7.6. So not too worried about people being able to handle a problem that involves averages that way. But look at the other two types of questions. The reason why I ask these is these are some of the most common questions to be seen on an ACT or college entrance exam to see how you can work with this type of scenario. It says the average of 5 numbers is 12.2. So we're given that number right there. It says, what is the sum of the 5 numbers? So 5 is what we have right there. So the sum, which we don't know yet, divided by 5 is equal to 12.2. Once I have my equation, it's not too difficult to solve. I can multiply both sides by 5. And we get the sum is equal to 61. Okay, last one. I promise I will ask this question of you on the test. I'm very transparent about the types of things that you'll be asked to do on the test. After this class is over, you might say I'm dumb, stupid, ugly, bald, whatever. You can call me whatever you want, but you cannot say I don't tell you what's on the test. If you do, you're a liar or you're insane. One of the two. Okay? That's always interesting. Every once in a while, I have a conference with the parents. Says, yeah, my son says he has no idea what's on the test. And I show them the study guide and they're no idea. So it's not being honest. So then he's a liar. So Bella, she wants to know what kind of grade she needs on her last test in order to get the score she wants. She started off, she got a 60 on her first test. How are you feeling about that 60? Not very good? Rebounded the next one, you got a 76. Feel better? Yeah. Then your last one, you got a 98. So chances are you're probably not getting an A in this class if you start out with a 60 and a 76, right? Mm-hmm. But maybe your goal is that you get at least an 80% on your test, so you get at least a B in the class. That would be helpful information, right? In fact, it says, what would Bella need in order, on the fourth test, in order to get an average of 80? And I'll have students do this type of a problem on their own for their own tests. And we're going to use that same formula, which is we take the sum and divide it by the number to get the average. In this case, we have 60, and we're going to add to that 76 and 98. And anybody know what else? X. What does X represent? That fourth test that we don't know. So now that's our variable. So that's our sum on top, divided by how many tests are we averaging? 4. And that has to be equal to an average of 80. We're going to force the average to be 80. So that's my new question. Okay, that's my new equation I'm going to work through. Well, 60 and 76 makes 136, plus 98 is 234. 234 plus x divided by 4 is equal to 80. How will I solve this equation then? What do I do to both sides first? Yep, I'm going to multiply by 4. That gets rid of this dividing by 4 right there. And we're left with 234 plus x is equal to 320. Now it's easy. Subtract the 234. And I get 86. Think Bella's got a shot at 86? I think she does. Yeah. Suppose that this number didn't come out to be 86. Suppose this number came up to be 106. Probably not going to happen then, right? Not getting that average score of 80. I've had that happen before. My first chemistry test in high school or in college, I think I got about a 63. And then my next one, I got about an 85, so I was feeling a lot better. And my third one, I got a 54. And my last one, I got a 44. Even at a 44, I was still above the class average, but I was not feeling too good about myself. It was a tough test. What can I say? So anyway, you're going to have that type of question on your test. It is within your study guide. It is also on your assignment. So you guys can go ahead and grab your worksheets at this point. And notice that your worksheets are pretty slim right now. You only have this back page to do right here. Okay, that's all that you have. You can check your answers when you're done. Next couple days, we'll go through study guide and prepare together, do a little bit of practice in class. After we get done with this, which will be Thursday, you'll head on a 4-day break, right? Enjoy that. Then when you come back, we'll start with solving equations and inequalities, graphing lines, finding intersections, and we'll kind of get to more of the heart of algebra at that point. So you can go ahead and work on that backside. I'm going to continue making an answer key here. Let me know if you got questions.